Hey everyone! Today I want to share a brutal truth, a tough pill to swallow, but one that is absolutely essential for you to reclaim your power. It's this. The moment you start chasing a woman, you've already lost her. I know it sounds counterintuitive, even a little heartless. Aren't we taught to fight for love? To prove ourselves? To do everything to show someone how much we care about them? We grow up on fairy tales and romantic movies where the hero overcomes endless obstacles to win the princess's heart. We're conditioned to believe that persistence, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit are proof of genuine love. But I'm here to tell you that is a lie. It's an illusion deeply ingrained in our minds, and as Sadia Khan's psychological insights reveal, it's destroying our value every single day. Both Stoic philosophy and Sadia's teachings guide us toward a different kind of power, one found not in what we do for others, but in our ability to master ourselves. A masculine man, a grounded man, never begs, never runs after validation, and never lowers himself to be chosen. He simply disappears with intention. And in that disappearance, his power speaks louder than any words. Let's call this the art of disappearance. Chasing is not an act of love, it's an unspoken declaration of insecurity. When a man relentlessly pursues a woman, calling, texting, and begging for attention, he thinks he's proving his dedication. In reality, he's unconsciously sending a message that he doesn't see himself as valuable enough to stand still and be chosen. From a psychological perspective, endless pursuit triggers a negative reaction. As Sadia Khan explains, the energy of chasing communicates one thing louder than words. I need you more than you need me. It's a plea for approval, a heavy emotional dependency. This desperation is a poison that suffocates attraction. Women are not repelled by love or care. They are repelled by what Sadia calls the scent of neediness, of clinginess. Just like a plant, if you constantly pull on it, it will never root and stand strong. This core psychological principle aligns perfectly with the Stoic lesson. You can only control yourself, not the emotions or actions of others. When you chase, you are giving away control of your life to someone else, turning yourself into an applicant for affection. But a truly masculine man, like a Stoic philosopher, never allows his value to be stamped or approved by anyone. Ask yourself, have I ever felt like the more I chase something, the further away it gets? The answer isn't because that person is difficult, but because your energy is in a state of imbalance. You are trying to fill an internal void with external approval, and there is nothing that kills attraction faster than that. The truth is, no woman wants to carry the weight of being the center of another man's entire existence. They don't want to mother a man who can't stand strong on his own. So, if you're feeling like you've given everything but received nothing, stop. Listen to this brutal truth, because it is the doorway to your real power. The silent confession of neediness. This silent confession of neediness is why so many men feel they gave everything and still got nothing. Because giving from a place of lack is never attractive. When you give with the hope of earning validation, it feels like a bargain for love, not an expression of abundance. Women feel this difference deeply. A man who stands strong, who gives because he has, who loves without losing his frame, is magnetic. But a man who gives in hopes of earning validation becomes weak and insecure. I have a friend named Alex. Alex is a kind, generous guy, always willing to help. He was in love with a woman named Jessica. Their relationship started beautifully, but after a while, Alex started to feel insecure. He always wanted to do everything for Jessica, from driving her to work every day, paying for every meal, to buying her expensive gifts for no reason at all. Alex thought he was showing his love and dedication, but in reality, he was doing it from a place of lack. He was terrified that if he didn't do these things, Jessica would stop loving him. Every time Jessica didn't text back immediately, Alex would call her repeatedly to check in. He gave up his hobbies, dedicating all his free time to just waiting for Jessica. Gradually, Jessica began to feel suffocated. She didn't feel loved. She felt owned. Alex's desperate energy created a huge imbalance, and she stopped respecting him because she sensed that Alex didn't respect himself. In the end, Jessica broke off the relationship, leaving Alex adrift and asking, "Why? I did everything for her." Alex's story is a classic example. He confused love with desperation. He didn't understand that the most attractive thing about a man is his wholeness and independence, a core principle from Sadia Khan's teachings, not his willingness to sacrifice unconditionally. From the perspective of modern psychology, Alex fell into the trap of dependency. This dependency causes you to lose your frame, the core of your value and character. Your frame is your internal compass. When you allow someone else's emotions to dictate your actions, you've handed them that compass. A man with a solid frame is like a boat with a strong anchor in a storm. He might sway a bit, but he will never drift aimlessly because he has a sense of direction. In contrast,
I
Alex
find
became a
motivation in
rudderless ship,
small moments,
drifting
like
with
helping
every
others
emotional
or
wave
chasing
from
my dreams
Jessica.
every day.
Do you see yourself in Alex's story? Are you giving from an empty cup simply because you are afraid of the emptiness inside? Ask yourself, am I trying to buy affection, or am I expressing love from a full heart? Your answer will tell you a lot about the origin of your actions. Remember, giving only has value when it comes with no strings attached. Dependency is a form of emotional prison, where you lock yourself in, waiting for someone else to hand you the key to freedom. But freedom never comes from the outside. It must come from within, from the realization that you are valuable even without anyone's approval. The power of mystery. Human psychology has always been drawn to mystery. This is nothing new. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, taught that we can't learn anything when we already know everything. This holds true in academics and in relationships. What is scarce and mysterious captures more attention than what is constantly available. I often think of scarcity as a diamond. A diamond lying on the street for anyone to pick up loses its value. But a diamond carefully held in a precious box, requiring effort and appreciation to possess, becomes priceless. When you disappear, subtly, not out of spite or to manipulate, you break the established pattern. You become less predictable, and your absence becomes a puzzle she wants to solve. Your silence becomes louder than any words. Think of it like a story. A compelling story always leaves gaps, unresolved mysteries that make us curious and want to read on. When you are always present, you're like a book she has already finished, with nothing left to discover. When she is certain you'll always be there, her curiosity dies, and with it, her attraction. As Sadia Khan has taught us, disappearing is not about pushing her away, it's about pulling her mind toward you. because the unknown is far more captivating than the known. It's not a manipulative tactic. It's a deep understanding of human psychology. People only value what they fear losing, and when you disappear, you trigger that fear. Your silence becomes more powerful than your words, and your absence becomes more attractive than your relentless pursuit. Why? Because it forces her to think about you in ways your constant presence never could. Masculine men understand this principle. They don't disappear out of insecurity or bitterness. They disappear because their lives are bigger than a single relationship. They disappear because they are busy building, creating, and leading. Their absence is not a strategy, it's a byproduct of having a purpose. And that is what makes the intrigue so powerful. A man with a full, purposeful life doesn't need to chase anyone. His attraction comes from his abundance, from having too many valuable things to do. Conversely, a man who is empty and without purpose will always seek to be filled by others, becoming dependent and insecure. Ask yourself, is my life compelling and full enough that I don't need to chase others to attract them? If the answer is no, the problem isn't the relationship. It's you. Remember, chasing is an admission that you believe your life is empty without her. Disappearing is a declaration that your life is whole, even without her. Your power is within you, not in anyone else. The true power of control. The true attraction of a man comes not from his ability to yell or control others, but from his ability to control himself. This is one of the core lessons of Stoicism, a philosophy that deeply influences Sadia Khan's work. When you chase, you are surrendering control. You become a man driven by emotion, not guided by principle. This lack of control makes attraction fade. Women may enjoy attention, but they do not respect a man who has no control over his own center. In reality, women are always testing men, not with words, but with energy. They will push and prod to see if you can hold your ground. Can you maintain your frame when things get chaotic? Most men fail these tests because they confuse control with aggression. They think that raising their voice or demanding respect makes them strong. But true strength is found in restraint, in your ability to remain calm in the face of uncertainty, and to continue on your path even when everything around you is chaotic. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Self-control is about controlling your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. A masculine man never allows himself to be swept up in a storm of desperation. He knows that the foundation of attraction is not about pleasing others, but about holding firm to his own value. Control is not about suppressing feelings, but about directing them. It's about recognizing that your emotions are your responsibility, not someone else's obligation. When you chase, you look like a man demanding a woman to fix his insecurity. Conversely, when you control yourself, you look like a man who stands firm, no matter what she does. Masculine power flourishes when a man leads with composure. Think about the men in history or in your own life who left a lasting impression. They were not the loudest or the neediest. They were the ones who could walk into a room and shift the atmosphere just by their presence. That presence came from control, from restraint, from the ability to say no, and from the discipline to walk away when respect was absent. Conversely, chasing strips you of that presence. It makes you appear chaotic, clingy, and weak, because it reveals that you have lost control over the one thing a masculine man must never lose:
I find motivation
his
in small
frame.
moments, like helping
Frame is
others
your
or
ability to hold
chasing
your
my dreams
ground,
every
to
day.
stand in your truth, and to refuse to be bent or shaken by external validation. Without it, you cannot lead. And a man who cannot lead will never be followed, admired, or desired. Reinvestment in yourself. Many men view disappearing as a tactic to manipulate a woman's emotions. But that is a major misconception. True disappearance is not about her. It's about you. It's an act of self-respect and a reinvestment in yourself. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we should only expend our energy and focus on what we can control. And the only thing we can control absolutely is ourselves. When you chase, you are giving away your most valuable energy to try to control something you cannot, someone else's emotions and actions. That is a colossal waste of energy, and it only leads to exhaustion. Like a smart business person, a masculine man understands that his attention and energy are a form of currency. And like all valuable currencies, it must be preserved and spent wisely. By stepping back, by disappearing, you create space to recharge, to focus on your mission, and to invest in yourself. This self-investment not only strengthens you, but also increases your value in the eyes of others. Because nothing is more attractive than a man who knows his worth and is willing to protect it at all costs. When you disappear, you are reorienting your energy from chasing others to building yourself. You return to your goals, your growth, and your vision. This shift not only strengthens you but also reminds her of why she was drawn to you in the first place. No woman truly respects a man who abandons his mission to orbit around her. She might enjoy the attention for a moment, but eventually, she will lose respect for a man who has nothing else to drive him. Disappearing is how you realign with the truth that your purpose must always come first, a powerful teaching from Sadia Khan. It's how you show that your time, energy, and life are anchored in something deeper than romance. That alignment creates a powerful magnetism because it communicates independence, strength, and direction. This is also an act of faith in the flow of life. You are saying, if this connection is meant to align with me, it will. If not, my disappearance will clear the space for what is. Chasing comes from fear, from the urge to control the outcome. Conversely, alignment comes from faith. It frees you from the desperation of needing to beg, convince, or pursue. You simply align, and in that alignment you find peace, whether she stays or goes. Are you wasting your energy currency on places that don't deserve it? Think of your life as a garden. Are you nurturing your own seeds, or are you trying to water a barren desert? The filter of truth. Ultimately, disappearing is the gift of truth. It's the ultimate test you set for a relationship, a mirror that shows you who truly values you and who was only entertained by what you could give. Because the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop pouring effort into a relationship without balance, you give her this space to reveal her true intentions. If she was only there for convenience, for attention, for the comfort of knowing you would always be available, your disappearance will expose it. She won't reach out. She won't invest. She won't care enough to fill the gap. And as painful as that realization can be, it is also a liberation, because you will no longer waste more time and energy. But if she truly values you, if there is genuine interest, Your disappearance will force her to step forward. She will call, she will text, she will ask why you've pulled back. Because genuine interest never allows silence to remain unbroken. This is what makes disappearing a powerful tool from Sadia's teachings. It's a filter, not a game. It filters the temporary from the permanent, the pretenders from the real ones. Most men are terrified of pulling back because they fear what the silence might reveal. They continue to chase, to give too much, and to be constantly available, not because they enjoy it, but because they are afraid of finding out that she might not care if they stopped. But a masculine man is not afraid of the truth. He welcomes it. He knows that fake connections waste time, and time is the most valuable resource a man possesses. Disappearing becomes his way of testing alignment. Does she want me for who I am? Or does she only enjoy the benefits of my attention? Does she invest when I stop giving? Or does she vanish because the free ride ended? The answer comes not through words, but through actions. And actions always tell the real story. Disappearing also shifts the balance of power in the relationship. When you chase, you are always in a weak position, constantly fighting for a place in her life. But when you disappear, the roles reverse. She is forced to evaluate her own investment. She has to confront the reality of what life feels like without you. This shift is crucial because it restores balance. Ultimately, remember that disappearing is an act of courage. It requires you to be willing to face rejection, to confront the possibility that she may not care enough to chase you, but it also requires you to trust in your value, to believe that if she doesn't step forward, it doesn't diminish who you are. It simply means she was not aligned with your path. And once you see that truth, you can walk away with clarity instead of clinging to false hope. The Great Practice. Your action plan. Mindfulness of action. In every interaction, ask yourself, is this action coming from a place of seeking approval or from a place of abundance?
I find motivation
Practice
in small
silence.
moments, like
For
helping
1
others
week,
or chasing my
actively
dreams
step
every
back.
day.
Stop initiating texts or calls and instead focus on your goals and hobbies. Self-reflection. After 1 week, ask yourself, how did I feel when I stopped chasing? Did I find peace or fear? And did she actively try to connect? If you found these insights helpful, leave a comment below and let me know which lesson you'll apply first. Don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend who needs to hear these words. And most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss any future lessons on our journey of self-mastery. I'll see you in the next video.